welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are breaking down the absolute high-stakes battle for the future of money. We're going to look at three giants, each with a completely different strategy, but they're all aiming for that same ultimate prize. So really, how do you win the future of money? Well, it turns out there isn't just one single answer. Nope. Instead, what we're seeing right now are three very, very different paths companies are taking, all thanks to this perfect storm of, evolving regulations, brand new tech, and just how we as consumers are changing our habits. Okay, you can basically boil these strategies down to three things. Number one, you can build the castle, an impenetrable fortress. Number two, you can own the front door, controlling that single most important entry point for every customer. Or number three, you can just be everywhere, becoming so widespread that you're just the default choice. All right, let's dive into this. We're going to look at Payoneer, Coinbase, and Meta, and you'll see how each one perfectly represents one of these core strategies. So first up, we'll check out Payoneer's regulated moat. Then we'll jump into Coinbase's pretty clever distribution shortcut. And finally, we'll break down Meta's big consumer comeback attempt. Okay, let's kick things off with Payoneer. Now, these guys are playing the long game. This is the ask for permission, not forgiveness strategy. And they're doing it by getting cozy, really in lockstep, with financial regulators. So Payoneer's really big move is filing for this thing, a national trust bank charter. And what is that? Well, think of it as the ultimate key to the grown-ups table in finance. It is literally a government-stamped license that says, hey, you are a legitimate, trusted institution. And in the wild west of digital money, that is a massive advantage. But here's the interesting part. Payoneer is not alone here. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the OCC, has suddenly opened the floodgates. Look at this timeline. Late 2025, you see companies like Ripple and Paxos get the green light. Then just this year, Stripe's stablecoin unit and Crypto.com get their approvals. This isn't a one-off. It is a full-blown trend. And I love this slide because it just illustrates the shift perfectly. A few years back, the OCC was that strict bouncer at the club. The one with the clipboard just saying, nope, not tonight. But now, the vibe has totally changed, thanks to clearer rules from things like the Genius Act, which is all about creating a real framework for digital assets, and frankly, a more crypto-friendly political climate. The bouncer is now waving everyone through have fun, be safe, the doors are wide open. So here's the bottom line. Payoneer's big bet is this. The best way to build a lasting advantage, a real moat around your business, is to build that fortress of regulatory compliance first. Then, once you have that solid, trusted foundation, you use it to power global payments with stablecoins. All right, on to our second story. So while Payoneer is busy building its regulatory castle, Coinbase is taking a completely different and maybe even sneakier approach. They don't want to build the castle. They want to own the front door. Okay, so for years and years, the journey for an average investor probably looked something like this, right? You'd be doing your research on a site like Yahoo Finance, you get all excited about a stock, and then you'd have to close that window, open a totally separate app like Robinhood, search for the ticker all over again, and then finally make your trade. Kind of clunky. Well, Coinbase just completely blew that entire process up. By partnering with Yahoo Finance, they've embedded their Buy with Coinbase button directly on the research page. So now, the journey is just research, click, trade. It's totally seamless. Game changer. And this entire strategy, this whole brilliant move, is about one thing: winning what's called the moment of intent. And that's that critical tiny window of time where you, the user, go from just thinking about trading to actually wanting to do it. By being right there at that exact moment, Coinbase snags the customer before anyone else even gets a look in. Yeah, this quote just sums it up perfectly. It's the Costco strategy. Yahoo Finance isn't the fanciest store, but the traffic, it's absolutely insane. Millions of people are on there every single day. So what did Coinbase do? They basically walked into the busiest store on the internet and put a checkout counter with free samples in every single aisle. Genius. Okay, and finally, our third strategy. This one comes from a very familiar face, one that's trying to get back in the game, Meta. And their ambition is simple but huge. They want to be everywhere. Now, you probably remember Meta's first swing at this with Libra, right? It was this grand plan for a new global currency, but it hit a massive wall of regulatory pushback and, the whole thing got shut down. But guess what? The reports are now surfacing that Meta is gearing up for a comeback, a sequel, sometime in late 2026. But this time around, the approach is completely different. Their old strategy was ambitious, right? To build a whole new financial empire from scratch. The new strategy is so much smarter. Instead of building their own thing, they plan to just embed existing third-party stablecoin payment rails directly inside the apps that billions of us already use every single day. Think WhatsApp. Think Instagram.
And this quote is just hilarious and spot on. Meta coming back to stablecoins is like a band reuniting after a messy breakup, right? Different lineup, same hits, and everyone just pretends they weren't subtweeting each other for years. But seriously, this shift is crucial. If Meta actually pulls this off, they could make using stablecoins for payments as normal as sending a GIF. They could turn this kind of niche crypto thing into a default habit for billions of people, almost overnight.
So when you step back and look at all this, what you really have are three powerful, clashing philosophies for how to win the future of finance. You've got the solid foundation, the perfect sales funnel, and the massive consumer frontier. And this table just lays it all out so clearly. You've got the foundation, which is Payoneer, aiming to become the regulated rails for all global money. Then you have the funnel, which is Coinbase, trying to own that exact moment a user decides to trade. And finally, the final frontier, which is Meta, just trying to make stablecoins a default consumer habit through pure massive scale. So this all leaves us with the million-dollar question, right? As we watch all these incredible strategies play out, which path is actually going to win? Is it the regulated fortress, the perfect sales funnel, or the platform that just has billions and billions of users? Or maybe the ultimate winner won't be a master of just one of these things. Maybe the real long-term champion will be the company that figures out how to do all three, to combine that regulated foundation, that perfect sales funnel, and that massive user scale into one single unstoppable force. Now that's something to think about.